Um, I have always wanted to start a channel, and I haven't, honestly, because I've been a big chicken shit. I just want to be really honest. And I wanted to start this video off with the idea of purchasing with a purpose. So I've been going through this very transitional stage of my life where I wanted to become an entrepreneur. I'm becoming an entrepreneur. I'm learning, about finances and investing and, changing your circle of friends, changing your mindset, trying to read a book, at least 2 a month. That's kind of where this year's been a little, I'd say like 1.5 every month. And of course you want to get to once a week. But the thing that I've learned and I've seen is that we just buy things. And I wanted to be like, well, if you're going to buy something, if you're going to waste $10, why not waste it on something profitable, like investing in yourself or helping someone else? Or even like this concept. So we're the wealthy nation, right? So we can buy shoes and PlayStations and iPhones and TVs and all these things. And I thought to myself, why not buy these things, but through companies that are actually giving back and having a positive impact on society and humanity. So for example, deodorant or organic makeup with no chemicals in it, or food or shoes made out of recyclable material that is, giving back and it's durable, clothing that's made from, responsibly grown crops, coffee that is also responsibly grown, and, whatever is in your life. There is no perfection, okay? I wish I could recycle glass here. I can't. But I recycle everything that I can, and I try to repurpose my glass stuff as much as I can and use it for Tupperware instead of plasticware, and I'm getting to this point where I went through a phase. 2 years ago, almost around this time, I was homeless. I was sleeping on someone's floor or couch, but it was the floor, and I came to Dallas with no plan except to make it. And at the time, I was so hungry, I was willing to take any job as long as I knew it would help me get rich. And I found out very quickly that's not the way to live. My first job, I worked for a billionaire, and they were miserable. Like, they had a huge family, they had the mansion, the cars, and they were a miserable family. And I was like, this is crazy. And they didn't pay me anything. They were very greedy, and they had this lack, like people are always trying to take from them. And it was a bad energy. And then I went to my next job, and they used to formerly be billionaires. They're retired now. They're giving it all away. Very, very giving, very kind. And I saw the opposite spectrum of it, and it was really neat. But again, they had sacrificed so much to have that lifestyle that there were regrets. And I have been thinking to myself, this year during COVID has been very good to me financially, but I've been holding back on doing the things that I really want to do. This job has been great. But even though I have this beautiful apartment in this very nice neighborhood, it wasn't enough. The things, I'm not a big thing purchaser thing, all right? This shirt's from the thrift store. and my furniture was donated to me, and the art, some of it's mine, some of it was donated to me. I'm not really a big purchaser. Now, I do have a spending problem when it comes to eating out. It's just straight up, I spent way too much money this month on eating out. It also has to do with like taking on more responsibilities. I took a course and I went full time and I was training, and then it was too much, and then I had family issues, and then I just was like, I don't have time to cook. So things happen. So you have to be flexible at the same time. But this concept of purchasing with a purpose, So Instagram, they know me, okay? They know that I'm environmentally friendly and plant-based. So plant-based does not mean no dairy and meat. It just means mostly plants with, I'd say, 20% dairy, meat, processed food. 80% the good stuff, 10 to 20% of the stuff you don't need, right? And so mostly good, some stuff, okay? And they know this about me. So I started seeing all these really cool things they started advertising to me, from deodorant to shoes to responsibly grown organic clothing. I mean, you name it. So I was like, they're just giving me this information. So I created an Excel spreadsheet and I started to write down all these companies. And it was like over 50 eco-friendly companies on Instagram. And I was like, this is incredible. How can I use this? And how can I help these people? At least the ones that are really doing what they're supposed to. And I had this idea. I was like, why don't I just start buying all their products and giving a review on YouTube? Why not? I mean, one, I'll be able to create connection with these companies if they want it. It's nothing, there's no pressure. And also let people know what's good out there and what's not good. All startups have their issues, whether they have good intentions or not. And then startups who become successful, sometimes their priorities are skewed and and they get off track. They start cutting corners, start using cheaper ingredients or plastic containers or et cetera, et cetera. So it's good to monitor what people are doing when they start and when they get into it really heavy. You see, there's so much going on that's good out there, and there's so many wealthy people around the world. So Japan has more millionaires per capita than the United States. I didn't know that. And then I was studying that, Russia used to have like a ton of billionaires, okay? So there is wealth outside of the United States, and there are good people all over the world. Poor, not poor, doesn't matter. And my vision is to educate the ones who are seeking it. And I want to, again, this is no pressure. This is the people who want it. They're looking for it. I'm giving it to them. And I have to just stop being so shy, because there is the fear of success. And what does that mean? Well, with success comes exposure, right? And I've made a lot of mistakes. I've had a really rough background growing up, and I'll explain a little bit more in another video about how, getting shot by a crackhead and, watching a family member get murdered and all that stuff has a really big play in my life. And, I still went to college and did what I needed to do, but I made a lot of mistakes on the way. And I have a lot of things that I've had to work through. So I struggled with alcohol, and I did everything. I actually stopped drinking, which I did take some mushrooms, which was amazing. And I realized that alcohol was the thing that was stopping me, because I'm smart, I'm intelligent, I love quantum physics and philosophy, and I like to read, and I like the environment, I like looking at new technologies, I like following everything. I just love learning. But alcohol was taking away from my motivation, my action taking, the amount of time that I was reading, and so I struggled with it for honestly 10 years. 10 years is a good from 22 when I started drinking heavy to 32. And now these last 4 years, it's been really like off and on. I've tried a couple of things, and the thing that's worked for me was going abstinent for 6 months and seeing that it didn't work. Then I took the naltrexone. That helped with the craving, but it didn't take me over the edge. And then I did the mushrooms, and that's what put me over the last bit of what I needed this year. And I haven't drank since then. I had one beer, okay, but like to be, social, but not like I need to go get drunk. And And it's scary sharing this with the world. Like, who are you? Why are you important? I'm not here to be important. I'm here to create value and provide free value. And that's the mistake that I made 2 years ago when I came to Dallas, was I was just focused on money, like just money orientated. I didn't care about anything except for becoming rich. And I compromised my morals for it. And it bit me in the ass. I had jobs that I just didn't like, didn't approve of, and now, like, everyone gets this little bit of enviness when you see that 20-year-old on YouTube who's making 10 grand a month or even 50 grand a month, and you're like, how the hell did that person do that? Well, it doesn't matter if they're 20 or if they're 30 or if they're 50. The thing is you need to give yourself 10 years to become wealthy. On my journey, I have done this ebb and flow of an entrepreneur. I had a business, and it didn't work out, but it was a wonderful experience. And now I'm taking a class on London Real in order to create a digital product. It happened so fast. It needed to happen because it forced me to take action and not overanalyze, is what I always do. But at the same time, I feel like I wasn't able to put my heart into it the way that I wanted to. Now I'm going to do what I can do to make it the best product for this class, because I paid for it and finished what I started. But I'm going to go back and do it again. And this time I'm just going to do it coming from the heart. I was watching something on TikTok, and it talked about the books of, the regrets of the dying, which is on my book list, but they kind of went over the top 10 regrets, and it was trying to live the life of someone else was a big regret, that someone else thought you should live. And I thought, I'm doing that. I'm trying to live a life that I thought was what it needed to be, and it didn't fit my priorities, which is organic food, clean water, local businesses, supporting your community, educating the poor for free, and making money with other entrepreneurs, creating the circle of wealth, as I call it. So I purchase from my friend, and she purchases from me, and we combine and extend our networks, and it becomes more valuable for both of us. Therefore, we're not taking away from each other, but we're simply adding and creating value for each other. And I'd started a women's group, and it was really good, but I couldn't get the idea together fully. I was trying to figure out a way that we could all make it profitable for each other, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. But COVID hit, so we didn't actually get to keep doing the meeting. And then COVID hit, and it really, really took me back to, I've always wanted to make money online and have an e-commerce business for years. 4 years I've been trying to create it, like, income online, and I just didn't commit. A big part of that was overthinking. I'd sit on my computer and I'd loop. I want this, I want this, I want this. I don't know how to get there. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to connect this bridge to this bridge. And I kept saying, I don't know. And I kept saying, I'll never get it, And I had to say, I already know what I want to do. And so I was a personal chef this year. And even though it was wonderful, it was not exactly what I wanted it to be. Do I love cooking? Yes. Do I love cooking in other people's homes? No. And with COVID, it's not something I really, like, if this were to happen again, it would hurt the business. So now I'm like, okay, well, how can I teach people who come from dysfunction and poor families, who've put themselves in a better position financially, and now they have time to focus on their health and invest in the quality of their food. And, I've done juicing fasting, which is wonderful. I think everyone should do it at least once or twice a year. I have tried veganism. Veganism, I just feel like humans are omnivores naturally. Consciously, I know we can live without eating animal products, but I feel like we still need to do more research on the nutrition aspect of it. Dr. Sebi lived, I don't know, really old, and he was a vegetarian and an advocate of what is protein. This need of too much protein is silly, but he was a very thin man, and which is great actually with the obesity problem. And as you can see, I've gained a little bit of weight, but I'm gonna fix that. But I mean, being 136 pounds is no sin, and a lot of this is muscle, okay? It's not like just all chub. But the point is, and I want to go back to the beginning of this video, and that's purchase with a purpose and move with a purpose, and stop worrying about what other people think. I'm 32, I'm single, I don't have any children. Okay. I've tried so many things, and my family has even rubbed it in my face. My brother's like, Lydia, you always fail. You're always failing at something. You try all the time, and you try all these different things, and nothing works. And I'm like, that's part of the process. And my mom was the same way, like, oh, well, you've had different jobs, and you don't have a career. And I'm like, Mom, I'm creating a business right now. Like, give me a break. And you're like, that's, she just, all she wants me to do is have a child and be a mother. And that's wonderful. I want to be a mother and have a child, but I want to also live a life with purpose. So I will be a mother, and I want to be an example to that child of following your dreams and following what's important to you. I've researched going off the grid and stuff, and I'm going to tell you right now, I like the luxury of walking around my apartment and being able to do yoga inside. And, but at the same time, so van life is not for me, basically. Tiny home, not so much, but a green home, right? So water recycling and solar panels, if I can, in the city, do, windmills and what do you call it, thermal energy, thermodynamics, and just like incorporate the good stuff with the luxury of being modern. And I feel like that's what people are trying to find out too. Me personally, I'm not saying, like, I wanted to be a minimalist, but then I wanted to be a materialist, and I've come somewhere in the middle between just buy shit that you like and you need. And the Japanese term, if you have something and it doesn't make you happy, get rid of it. So I have this rule, I go through my closet. If I haven't worn it in a year, it's got to go. And, or every time I move, I go through everything that I have. And if I don't need it, it's gone. I get donated, throw it away if it's broken, give it away to someone in more need. But I feel like working with people, homeowners, has showed me that people can be really, really poor and have a lot of shit that they don't need. And I mean, thousands of dollars worth of shit they don't need or want or care about. And I just thought, even the poor have bullshit. And I'm like, okay, if someone could just create a web of wealth for everyone, right? So I make money, I give back. And I've made it a point to donate every time I get paid, even if it's $10, donate. I give food to the homeless. But now something I've learned is I used to give plastic packages to homeless people, and I would come back the next day and the plastic package would be on the floor. Because they have no trash cans on the corners, right? Where the homeless, the panhandlers are at. And I thought, oh, okay, I need to have more responsible packaging for these people. So that's something I learned, trial and error, and other people should be more aware of, is when you do give people, homeless people, food, give them a way to dispose of it. If you can, make it into a an eco-friendly packaging. I know with the COVID and packaging and homemade cooking, there are like safety hazards, but if you've been tested for COVID, you know that you can give food away safely. Just package it in a responsible way if possible. Easy. So purchase with a purpose, move with a purpose, and stop being a chicken shit. All right, so great to be back in the game and following my dreams. And there's so much more to come.